The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. A community gathering on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth. Welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Carnival Auto Museum. We'll tell you more about that in the big fundraising event later on. And later on is when the roundtable shows up. They'll get into all sorts of controversial topics, so stay tuned. Where we want to start, though, is talking with and about a very talented young man. I'm not talking about Griff. He's not young or no, you are talented and you are young. Everybody's young to me. Of course, Griff Schuler, David Daggett from Daggett Schuler Law Firm are here. You guys know them from being on the show all the time. But they brought a special guest with them. Jaron Moore is a junior at Atkins High School and Career Center, and he has designed the 2026 Safe Sober T-shirt design. Let's hold that up just a second there, Griff. Let's see. Isn't that something like this? This is great. Hey, David, I'm going to talk to Jaron in a second. David, let me start with you.
Sure.
Remind everybody what the Safe Sober program is all about and how the focus has changed over the years.
Yes, we're in the 36th year of the Safe Sober program, which has become an annual event for high schools and students all across the Triad. It started out as a basic program raising the awareness for the dangers of drugs and alcohol for young people, but over the years it's turned into a program of leadership, guidance, and direction. Students are proud to put on the shirts, wear them in public, support each other. One of the real highlights of the program is peer pressure is the biggest thing that young people carry. We usually hear about negative peer pressure. If you can just twist it into positive peer pressure, it's the most powerful force among young people. Wearing these t-shirts, there are 16,000 of them going out just in here in the Triad, creates an atmosphere of positive peer pressure for young people, and the student design of the t-shirt is a big part of that.
Oh yeah, and Griff, a lot of good feedback you guys have had over the years in doing this kind of a campaign, right?
Yes, I mean the administrators, principals, parents, students. We cover 10 counties across the entire Triad. Students get involved with it, and it's just a tremendous response to the program.
Let me see this again. Now, Jaron, let me talk to you for just a second. What in the world? This is so creative. Now, I picked up on, I'm not very bright, but I even picked up on the fact that you've got sort of a wheel motif. Tell me about how you came up with this design.
Yeah, so the design went through multiple different iterations, at least 5 or 6 of them. Some of the iterations came with more of a kinetic type of design. Some were more based around things like spheres and shapes. So a lot of designs were based around shapes. As you can see, we have specifically squares and
almost like a car and
concentric wheels. So it almost resembles a car in a way. And then we have, of course, the Safe Sober motif, the right choice on it, and all that stuff. So basically, the design process went, it was just taking designs that I had already created and trying to go for a design that really said Safe Sober.
When did you first start drawing as a kid?
As a kid, I've been drawing as long as I can remember, honestly. I still have notebooks and illustrations from when I was at least 5 just sitting in my room right now.
Yeah, I drew on the walls in my house and got spanked.
He's got quite a future, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about the future real quickly now. What plans do you have after high school?
Currently, I plan to attend A&C University for mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So that's what I plan to do after high school, and I plan to become a mechanical engineer.
I think that's great. David, wrap it up for us and tell us why the Safe Sober program is still so important, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, well, it's so important that at the presentation to Jaron in his classroom, we had the mayor, the police chief, the sheriff, the chair of the school board, the chair of the county commissioners, and lots of other dignitaries came because they understand young people are our future. We have to encourage and support them. That takes all of us.
Inspirational message that all three of you are giving us. On screen, DaggettSchewerLaw.com. Please check that out or call 724-1234 if you should need these two gentlemen. And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's a great design. We'll be right back after this.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all.
Back now on Triad Today. Always glad we can spend a few minutes with the good folks from Alamance Community College who do so much good work to help students, especially these two guys, and we're going to introduce them to you right now. On my immediate right, we have Matt Eckhoff, who's the director of the North Carolina Boost Services at Alamance Community College. We'll tell you about what that is in just a minute. Clay Smith is here. He's a senior university transfer advisor. I appreciate you being here because you're really helping students with a lot of things. I'm going to start with you, Matt. What is North Carolina Boost?
Sure. So North Carolina Boost program is a brand new, exciting program that just came to the state this past fall, 2025. In addition to at Alamance, it's at 7 other colleges across North Carolina. And it's replicated from a nationally known program called CUNY ASAP from the City University of New York.
Right.
And the goal of the program ultimately is to support students from admission through to graduation with staying on track and not only being retained at the college, but support them with graduating from the college and connecting them directly to a career path immediately upon graduation.
Yeah, well, Matt, what are some of the obstacles and challenges that students face when they get in there and they say, I think I need some support services? I mean, how do you help them overcome the challenges, meet the challenges, overcome the obstacles?
Yeah. So there's a number of challenges students face. Definitely navigating the higher education space, financial aid, figuring out the admissions process, et cetera. Finances are definitely a concern, mental health. NC Boost is very intentional about providing academic, financial, and social support to assist students with removing those obstacles. Students in the program receive up to $600 per year in textbook support,
That's
up
great.
to $800 a year in monthly grants. And most important beyond all that is they get their own academic advisor from the time that they start through to the time that they graduate.
Now, Clay, a lot of the folks will be at Alamance and Alamance Community College, and then they want to transfer. So what kind of advice do you give them with that?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jim. I think, early on, we really try to encourage them to explore as many universities as they're interested in early and often. And so the transfer process can be busy and can feel complex as they're trying to meet expectations both of our institution but also other institutions. And so asking all the questions, I think, is my piece of advice. Explore as much as you can, learn as much as you can about those destinations. And what that lets us do as academic advisors is leverage a lot of resources we have to help simplify and streamline that process. One example of that is we have the UNC System Office's transfer guides, which are articulation agreements that let us make sure that we're registering students for the right courses that not just count for us, but count for them. So,
Right.
like I said, trying to make that process simple for them.
You sent me an email one day about the NC Reconnect program.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing that has something to do with adults maybe looking to return to college. Tell me about that.
Yes, sir, that's correct. So we are really excited at ACC to be part of the next NC Reconnect cohort. Thankful for the John Belk Foundation, John Belk Endowment rather, for letting us be part of that and funding that initiative. And so yes, that is the intent there is to eliminate barriers for re-enrollment and re-engagement for adult learners. And so I'm really honored to be representing academic advising in that space and connecting with those students, those adult learners who are coming back to ACC to make sure that their experience this time, is a really successful one. And so it's not always about how you start, but how you finish. And we're really excited they're going to finish.
I'm going to ask, just to end things, I'm going to ask both of you the same question very quickly. What kind of gratification do you get from what you're doing? We'll start with you, Matt, very quickly.
Yeah, thank you. So watching students from point of admission through to graduation and seeing them come in And then at the other side of it, seeing them cross the finish line at graduation is really the motivating factor.
It's incredible. Celebratory moment, like Matt said. We get to see them don the cap and gown and realize it's came a long way from the application. So
I think it's great what you guys are doing. Up on screen, AlamantCC.edu. AlamantCC.edu is the general website. Lots of portals to make your way through and find out about student support services, course loads, things that you can do, whether you're going to transfer out or go to a career. Either one. Hope you'll check that out. To Matt and Clay, thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, and very honored to have these two good friends with us. They've both been on the show before. We're so glad to have them back. On my immediate right, Sarah Blackwell. She's program manager for True Alliant Foundation at True Alliant Federal Credit Union. And Pastor Chris Lee is here with us, executive director, something called the Dream Center of Forsyth County. We'll learn more about that in just a second. Welcome to both of you. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
It's been, 100 years since we've seen each other, right, Chris? Sarah, let me start with you. You and I have talked before, and Atticus has been on the show. We talked about before how your foundation and True Alliant very committed to helping the community. We know that. Now, bring us up to speed on what you've been up to lately in terms of grants or volunteerism, anything. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we continue to build a community bridge to a brighter tomorrow for communities across North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Our quarterly grants program is well underway, and we just distributed our first round of funding to 7 nonprofits. Our True Alliant Employee Volunteer Program has been very busy. Since January, our employees have volunteered 150 hours in nonprofits and schools of their choice.
I just think that's great.
I know.
You sent me an email one day, Sarah, and you used the term social mobility. What does that mean to our conversation and to the foundation, and why is it important?
It's important to the foundation because it centers around the basic needs that individuals need to build stability in their life and the life of their family. So we're looking at things like food insecurity, clothing, transportation, and programs that build a sustainable pathway to affordable housing.
Chris, remind folks, it's been a while since you and I have talked, remind everybody what the Dream Center is. What's the mission?
The Dream Center is, we take care of a lot of lower income families, and we have a lot of resources. I mean, we've been a food bank since we started in Forsyth County in 2000. We've got Redress, a clothing boutique where we're giving out clothes every week. But we've added several new programs where we're really helping with more what I call transformational piece or transformational work.
Yeah, that brings me to an email you sent me about something called the Evolve program. What's that?
Yeah, Evolve is an 18-week program, and that's where we're helping take people and creating a pathway for them. And so what was happening was I was getting all these situations come across my desk that were really tough to unravel. And so what's been exciting to me is that we're able to take individuals and through this process, through Evolve, connect them with a mentor and help them create their pathway to what they consider success.
Now, who exactly is eligible for this program? I mean, is there a screening process or an application process, or how does it work?
We do have an application process, but it's really for anybody who just wants to improve their standing.
Okay.
And so one of the things that we're really proud is we're giving free transportation and free child care. And so we've tried to remove any barriers, because a lot of the young people that we're working with, sometimes I call them kids because some of them are younger than my children, but a lot of the young adults that we're working with, they have some of those barriers, and so we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and this mentoring program you were referencing, what does somebody learn from that in one of these week sessions?
Well, it's a lot of self-assessment, trying to figure out themselves, but it's a lot of financial education. It's working with it's anger management. It's conflict resolution. We're working a lot on soft skills, because we've seen that a lot of young adults just do not have the soft skills that they need right now to be able to be gainfully employed, to be able to fit in. And so it's been, it's fun.
Dream Center does such great work. Why is it important for companies like True Alliant and the foundation to help out?
We wouldn't be able to survive if it weren't for partners like True Alliant. And I think the thing I appreciate the most is I don't feel like it's just a check they have had individuals that have brought clothes over. They've been involved with the ministry beyond just providing a grant. They are our partners. And so, and I get the feeling that they care about the people that are involved in our program.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, True Alliance has been a sponsor with us for the entire 22 plus years on Triad Today, our very first sponsor. And this show is all about community service too, and if it wasn't for True Light, we wouldn't be here. Folks like Sarah and Atticus and Todd, I appreciate all that. Well, look, I want to put this up on screen. DreamCenterForSight.com. Please visit that. It's very important. DreamCenterForSight.com, or you can call 744-4004 and TrueLiantFCU.org/foundation. Very important to tell you all about what's going on. Sarah, I can't tell you how grateful I am for what you're doing, and Chris, working behind the scenes to do what you're doing. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
I got free meals. What do you mean? No, seriously, how much did you pay us? I didn't pay anything. I learned how to cook all of these fresh foods that were delivered to my house. Everything in that grocery bag that's fresh, I had a recipe for it, and I know how to cook. It encouraged us to eat better, to shop better, make better decisions.
Back now on Triad Today, I'm so excited about this young lady being with us. She's a first-time visitor to the show, but more important, she is a first-class person who is doing such great work in the community, behind the scenes, to help so many people. And I'm speaking about Latita Smith, president of the Winston-Salem Foundation. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Let's start out very quickly, just to remind people, what's the mission of the foundation?
The Winston-Salem Foundation has spent over a century bringing together people, ideas, and resources to help create a brighter future for everyone who calls Forsyth County home.
There are lots of different types of foundations, as you well know. Yours is a community foundation. You sent me an email about that one day.
Yes.
What's special about a community foundation? What's unique about it?
So many many foundations were established from the wealth of a single family or a corporation. But community foundations were created as a result of many contributions from donors and community members who share a commitment to building a lasting legacy together.
Right. And let's talk about, one of the things is, of course, you welcome donations.
Yes.
And that brings me to a big gathering that you're going to have coming up. I want to talk a little bit about that. It's the annual community gathering. When is it this time? Where will it be held? Give me some particulars.
So we are really excited to hold our annual community gathering on Monday, May 18th at 5 p.m. at the Benton Convention Center in downtown Winston-Salem.
What's the theme going to be?
So the theme of all of our community gatherings is the power of community. We highlight the foundation's work and our work together to imagine a stronger community.
But didn't I see something you sent me had poetry in it, though?
Yes. So this year we are thrilled to welcome 24th U.S. Poet Laureate Ada Limon.
Wow.
Around a theme of people, place, and possibility.
That's a great get to have her.
Yes.
So that's going to be great. Now, how does having this kind of an event support your broader mission? I mean, I know it's going to be a fun thing and a very informative gathering, good social networking, that kind of thing. But how does this really sustain, sort of represent your mission in broad terms?
So we really look forward to this opportunity to bring together people from all across our community around some issue of shared interest, be it a challenge or an opportunity. And Miss Limon's keynote is going to draw from her body of work and poetry to talk about the power of poetry to help us define how we work together in challenging times, how we make meaning of our experience, and how we deepen our connections with one another and with the community that we call home.
Couldn't be more timely, could it?
Yes.
Let me ask you a personal question. This is the first time you and I've met.
Yes.
And been on the show. Who or what led you to a career, I was going to say an interest in, but a career in community service? Let's just phrase it in broad terms.
Sure.
Was it a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, a teacher? Who led you to where you are?
So believe it or not, when I went to college, I studied women's autobiography. And I loved the idea of storytelling and the power of narratives to shape our lives. And so in the work that I do today, I get to talk with everyone from donors to nonprofits to community members about their hopes and dreams for our community, about the challenges that they see. And I get the privilege of knitting together those stories to think about how we can make our community more vibrant for everyone. And so the interest started a long time ago by reading books, but I have the privilege of bringing that to action in my work today.
Wow, okay. Do you have anything you've written that I can read sometime?
I love to read other people's work, so I'd encourage you to read Ada Limon.
Okay, she's very diplomatic, isn't she? Up on screen, I want to make sure I get all this back in here because Ms. Smith mentioned it a minute ago. Community gathering, Poetry, Place, and Possibility with Ada Limon. That's Monday, May 18th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Benton Convention Center. Now, for information or to register, you can visit WSFoundation.org. To Latita Smith, for all the work you do to help so many people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back after this.
At Sutton Brothers, we're confident we can help you solve your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
So confident that we'll fix it or it's free. Our highly trained technicians will diagnose your problem and fix it with either a repair or replacement.
And if we can't fix it, you won't pay the trip fee.
So the next time you have a problem, call us.
We'll make sure you're completely satisfied.
Guaranteed.
Call Sutton Brothers today and be confident things will be done right. Schedule online at suttonbros.com.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. The Roundtable is brought to you by Sutton Brothers, locally owned and operated and serving all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the Roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Kernersville Auto Museum, where you can come and see next weekend the 1908 Great Race presentation. The cars there, it's a real thing. It's a fundraiser for the museum. I hope you'll do it. Lots of great cars to see here every weekend for free. They're exquisite, just like this panel. Ogie Overman next to me. And of course, Griff Schuler and David Daggett that we brought over from a previous segment. Guys, many of our small rural counties have less money to spend on schools because their tax revenues are less. Makes sense. And so a lower court had ordered the state to allocate an additional $5.6 billion to those poor schools. However, the North Carolina Supreme Court recently struck that down. Guys, do you think the courts should have the power to force states to allocate extra money to poor schools? Ogie.
I absolutely do, and I think it's a shame that the Supreme Court struck that down. They needed, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Make it up so everybody's kind of equal there. Griff.
Seems like right now, Jim, one of the biggest things that could help the rural counties is for the North Carolina legislature to actually pass a budget.
Yeah.
That would help.
That would be a huge help.
Yeah, and then that's right, David.
This shouldn't be a court issue. This should be a public issue. There should be an upswelling among the population that if we don't have basic education across the board, our future society is going downhill.
Right.
We need to have a good education system.
Absolutely. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is being sued by a federal employee union because the Easter email she sent out to thousands of employees contained a brief religious sermon. Now, is this a big deal, guys? And who wins this lawsuit, Ogie?
To me, it's not a big deal. I think it's much ado about nothing. I would let it go.
Yeah, I mean, I know you believe in the whole church and state thing, but she's not really recruiting anybody, I guess. But anyway, Griff, what do you think?
It does seem like in this situation, she did somewhat cross a line. And she did, in her position on the cabinet, go into a bit of a homily or sermon, if you will, that probably crosses a line of what she should not have done in her position.
Yeah.
And it comes across as establishing possibly a religion from the state.
Two attorneys here on the panel, David, who wins this lawsuit?
I disagree. I've given presentations on separation of church and state and why it's essential for both to have separation of church and state. However, I'm with Ogie on this one. This isn't that big a deal. Let this one pass.
The recent Artemis II spaceflight is costing taxpayers over $4 billion, and the entire moon project, which will include another flight next year, will cost over $90 billion. Now, extrapolate that down, that means North Carolina taxpayers, that's about $2 billion that we're floating. Given the state of our economy and cutbacks in services, guys, are you okay with spending $90 billion tax dollars on moon research? Ogie.
I really am. I've been enamored with the space program since day one. I think it's necessary. It's going to happen. It's got to happen.
Griff.
I agree with Ogie. I think the advances that we get in science based on this type of space exploration. And one thing to remember is too, for a long-term goal, the space is going to be a huge industry. And so developing that for the future for economic reasons is very important.
David?
Yeah, one piece of the puzzle, and this comes from the 1960s, the research and the development of the space program led to the technological and industrial advantages we've had over the rest of the world, which has raised our standard of living, which has benefited all people. Yes, we should support it and keep pursuing those.
All right, guys. Last week, a South Florida HOA manager was arrested for spending homeowner fees on her own plastic surgery and luxury vacations. Now, meanwhile, a new report says, and seriously, a new report says that HOA fees have increased by about 19 to 20%, and it's causing many folks not to get into the house market, the home market, buying a house. Would you like to see a law passed that would put a cap on these fees, Ogie?
Yeah, I don't like HOAs to begin with. I've done a lot of stories on them. One in particular, a big one. And I wouldn't live in an HOA neighborhood. I would not do it.
Yeah, it can be kind of intrusive on that. Griff, what do you think?
I really don't think that passing a law should be required. I do think that there needs to be a lot more accountability. The budget should be much more out in the open. And I think if you had that in more of these situations, these type things wouldn't happen.
Yeah, David, the thing that scared me was a lot of people not buying houses because of it.
Well, first of all, I could use a little plastic surgery and a vacation, and so to keep those dues up. But this is where individual responsibility comes in. The homeowners in those neighborhoods, if they don't like the fees and the dues, they should act upon that and they have the opportunity to do that. We should not be legislating this sort of thing.
All right, finally, guys, back when NASA began, only 5% of Americans said they'd like to go up in space themselves. Now, nearly 50% of us say we'd like to fly to the moon. Guys, if given the opportunity, would you like to go into space? Ogie Overman.
Absolutely. I remember asking my daddy when I was 10 years old if I could quit school and go to the moon.
Really?
He said, yeah.
I think you've been there, Ogie. Griff, what do you think?
I think in theory, I'd like to think that I would be the type that would be adventurous enough to do it, but I don't know. I might want to have my feet on the ground.
Yeah, Iron Man?
Absolutely. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Probably on your bike.
I would want to take my bike, be the first person to bike on the moon.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Speaking of all this space stuff, you may not know, but right after liftoff on the Artemis, their toilet broke. They couldn't use their toilet. They finally got it fixed and asked one of the astronauts how he felt. He said, relieved. I don't want to go into it. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.